What's up, geeks and gamers? It's Jeremy coming to you with another video, and today we are going to talk about the story that made the rounds across the internet yesterday, and that is the news that Disney basically admits that Star Wars is dying. And I'm not going to read the article because every other YouTube channel has already done that. I've been really sick lately, and I just did not get an opportunity to cover that story yesterday, and I apologize for that. But this does confirm everything we've been talking about. This confirms everything we have heard from all of these people that claim that they love The Last Jedi, that they love Disney's Star Wars, that how much they are going to support it, and you're just, you must not be a Star Wars fan if you are so critical of it. And we're like, no. Basically, what's going on is we do love Star Wars, and we're sick and tired of what's been going on with Star Wars, and we're going to speak out about it. And we know that all of you SJWs that claim that you are all into Star Wars now, you don't support the business model. You don't buy the comics. You don't buy the toys. You don't stand in line for the movies. You don't go to Star Wars Celebration. You don't do these things. You never have. You never will. SJWs do not support your business model. And the proof has continued to show us over and over again that that is absolutely 100% correct. Yet we have seen Disney try to change the rules over and over again. They are constantly trying to move the goalpost. They're constantly trying to make excuses. They're constantly trying to divert attention to this area or that area. And eventually that ground is going to get smaller and smaller underneath you, and to the point where you have nowhere else to go. And that's exactly what's going on right now. Again, The Force Awakens made $2 billion. You can't really argue with those numbers. Those are fantastic numbers. The fan numbers were good. The critic numbers were good. Everything across the board seemed good at that point. But then it's been a slow, gradual drop since then. Now, Rogue One did well, but I think anybody with common sense understands why Rogue One did well. Rogue One did well because Darth Vader was in it for a little while, and he was used heavily for the marketing. Yet Disney wants to continue to talk about moving on from the past, and they want to move away from all of the original trilogy characters, and they want to move away from the original trilogy as a whole, and the prequel trilogy, and their new Star Wars land at Disney World. They want to sit there and build that around the sequel trilogy. Yet when they need marketing, the first place they go is to the original trilogy. They are basically just they're using them as bastards, basically, where, oh, we need you really quick, so we're going to use you so we can get a little bit of marketing out of you, but we really don't want to claim you. You know what I mean? We're just going to use you when it's convenient, and we're going to claim you when it's convenient. And we're seeing that over and over again. They used Darth Vader in the marketing for The Force Awakens with the mask. They used Darth Vader as a full-fledged character in Rogue One. They've used Darth Vader in Rebels. They've when you get into The Force Awakens, they obviously relied heavily on the Luke Skywalker fandom, yet they pretty much neutered him within the movie and used him and abused him. And then once they decide to kill off Jake Skywalker as a pathetic excuse for Luke, now they're going back to using Luke for marketing for Episode 9. And it's just a joke. I mean, we've heard rumors about Han Solo. We've heard all of this stuff. You get to Rogue One, and again, it had good numbers, it performed fairly well, and it pleased the majority of the audience, the heavy majority, but it was all because you used Darth Vader in it. That's what got asses in the seats. Then we get to The Last Jedi, and that was the breaking point. That was it. The Last Jedi absolutely destroyed Star Wars. I don't care if you don't like hearing that. I don't care if you like the movie. I don't care if that hurts your feelings. That is the truth. And you can either accept the truth, or you can continue to put your head in the sand. Either way, I'm going to keep telling you exactly what's going on. Your tears mean nothing to me. I have been talking about this for over a year now because it's important to me. And I will continue to talk about what is important to me. And there's nothing you can do to stop me. And the more time that passes, the more it is showing that I, along with so many others here on YouTube, are 100% correct. Star Wars is dying. It is dying because of identity politics. It's dying because Disney and Lucasfilm have no respect for the mythology of Star Wars. They are using Star Wars for a social justice platform. They have been doing this since the moment The Force Awakens was announced. There are people like me that didn't see that early on. And then there are people like Jeff over at World Class Bullshitters that saw that the moment it happened. That's fine. Well, I'm not trying to claim I was the first first one to this party. I'm not. But once I kicked that door down, everybody knew I was walking in the door. And I'm going to continue to speak out about this because this identity politics, this social justice garbage that they are shoving into Star Wars has killed Star Wars. These people that you are pandering to will never support your business model. The people that are on here on YouTube, on blogs, on the internet, and talking about this are the people that love Star Wars because we want to save Star Wars, because we are tired of Star Wars being used as identity politics. We are sick and tired of that. And you have people like Pablo Hidalgo, you have people like Ryan Johnson, you have people like I can't even name off all the names, Freddie Prinze. There's just, the list goes on and on, people that are associated with Lucasfilm that continue to just talk down to the fans and dismiss them and act like they don't matter. Like, Pablo Hidalgo is a complete troll on Twitter, an absolute troll. This guy hates Star Wars. He hates his life. He hates everything. And he brings his misery into this thing that we've loved for so long. And we're going to continue to try to speak out about this because we care about it. And the numbers continue to support every single thing we say. We are not making these things up. We are telling you exactly what it's like to be a Star Wars fan. We are telling you that you are ruining Star Wars, and instead of listening to us and respecting where we're coming from, you don't necessarily have to do every single thing we say. All we're saying is hear us out. Hear us out. And the more you don't want to listen, the worse it's going to get. And Star Wars, Disney invested $4 billion into Star Wars. They are dumping billions into Star Wars land at Disney World and Disneyland. They are pushing so much into this franchise. And right now, Episode 9 seems to be on pace to not clear $1 billion because of everything we're seeing within Star Wars, from the toys not selling well, from the comics, to Solo being a massive failure at the box office, mainly because of The Last Jedi, and the fact that it was a completely unnecessary movie, and it shows how incompetent Kathleen Kennedy is as a leader, because that film should have never been made. But it's a common theme with Disney and Lucasfilm is where they're trying to rewrite Star Wars. They wanted that Solo. They wanted Alden Ehrenreich's Han Solo to become the Han Solo of the future. So instead of seeing Harrison Ford, they didn't want that to be your identifiable person with Han Solo. They wanted their Han Solo to be the person that you identify Han Solo with. So all of the marketing would be pushed over to Alden Ehrenreich, all of the toys, everything would be Disney's version of Han Solo. And it backfired and it failed miserably because these people have no clue what they're doing. We do not want you to rewrite Star Wars. We want you to honor Star Wars. We want you to respect Star Wars. We want you to continue to build the mythology of Star Wars. We want you to get people at Lucasfilm that love Star Wars and that want to grow Star Wars, not people that are obsessed with race and gender and sexual preference. Those are the people that are running Lucasfilm right now, and it's continuing to be exposed every single day. And we are trying with common sense to come and say, Lucasfilm, wake up. Disney, wake up. You are killing your cash cow. It's dying. And at some point, we're not going to save it even when you decide that you're finally done trying to rape it. Because that's exactly what you're doing right now. At some point, we're going to be done completely. We are trying our best to make you understand what's going on. But the more you continue to do these things, the more you continue to stub your, you just shove your nose up in the air and act like you're so much better than us. You don't listen to anything we say. You don't acknowledge anything we say. Yet the numbers continue to prove exactly what we've been saying for so long. And now we're in a position where your latest report has even confirmed it more. Last Jedi, massive drop in week 2. That was the first sign that there was a problem. 67% drop in week 2, whereas The Force Awakens had a 29% drop or 39% drop. 39% drop in week 2, which is an insanely great number from week 1 to week 2. 39% coming off the biggest opening weekend of all time is incredible to hold 39%. Last Jedi, 67% drop. That tells us that the audience went to see this movie, and then they walked out and they go, that was terrible. That was awful. It was bad. Yeah, that's what happened. And then it's been horrible ever since. And again, Solo, was probably always going to fail, but The Last Jedi made it even worse because it was a really bad decision to even greenlight that movie in the first place. Then it was completely mismanaged by Kathleen Kennedy because she's a terrible leader. Kathleen Kennedy has completely disappeared from Lucasfilm since The Last Jedi released. She's nowhere to be found. This woman is an MIA leader. I don't think she's doing anything anymore. I don't think she has anything to do with Lucasfilm. I think she's a figurehead, and I think Disney is too scared to publicly admit that they have fired a whammon because that goes against their virtue signaling that they're constantly trying to do. Bob Iger has come out publicly and taken responsibility for Star Wars having several missteps, whereas Kathleen Kennedy fails to step up and say anything because she's a terrible leader, because she's a front runner. When things were good, she was out in front. She had no problem preaching about Star Wars. And then the second it gets bad, she goes in hiding because she's a front runner. She is a coward. She is not a leader. She is a pathetic excuse for a leader is what she is. Now, moving forward, what is going to happen? Episode 9 is not going to make $1 billion. I don't believe that that movie will make $1 billion. I say this as a J.J. Abrams fan. I say this as a very big J.J. Abrams fan. Do I think Star Wars Land at Walt Disney World and Disneyland are going to be successful? Yes, because the theme park division is much different than the movie division, the toy division, and things like that. It just is. I'm very, very plugged into the theme park division, and I'm fairly confident that the Star Wars Land will be a massive success. A massive success, because it's two completely different entities altogether. But that's just one aspect of it. I mean, right now, Avatar Land, Pandora, the Land of Avatar at Animal Kingdom is a massive success, but nobody cares about those damn movies. I'm not a big fan of the movie, but when I walk into that theme park in that land, it is some of the most incredible theming I've ever seen. It still doesn't make me care about the damn movie. So Star Wars Land is going to be cool. It is going to be cool to be there and to experience it, but it's not going to make up for the fact that the movies suck. Now, we've got the Disney streaming service, we've got The Mandalorian, which I am looking forward to, we have the Clone Wars Season 7, which I'm looking forward to, but if you don't have the main trilogy in order, and if we don't care about the main trilogy characters, then I don't know what you're trying to accomplish here. Rey is a terrible character. Rey had a lot of potential, but she's a terrible character now. She is a terrible character. And you have shown you've shown no belief that you need to do anything to develop this character. You are just interested in pushing forward a whammon, because respect whammon. We got to respect the whammon. We got to make sure she's all strong and she's powerful, and you're not showing any development whatsoever. The Last Jedi was such a bad movie. Like, it really was. I can't say it enough, and I won't stop saying it. And every time I see somebody in my comments crying because I won't stop making Last Jedi videos, I'll make another Last Jedi video. Just to make you cry. And the fact that it needs to be said. Until Disney wakes up and understands what's going on, I will continue to make Last Jedi video after Last Jedi video. I will continue to call this out, because this movie was a franchise breaker. It really was. As a fan of Star Wars, I was so happy pre-Force Awakens and post-Force Awakens. I was very happy. I was decently happy with Rogue One. Didn't love it, but it was fine. It didn't break anything for me. The Last Jedi broke everything. And again, I've said it before, I'll say it again. I will take a bad movie. I accept a bad movie. You tried some things, it didn't work. You brought Rian Johnson in, it didn't work. And if you could have owned those mistakes and tried to learn from those mistakes, I can appreciate that. You didn't do that. You handed this man a trilogy, and you haven't even tried to follow up on that. You won't even mention his name anymore now. It's really funny. You handed this man a trilogy and you attacked the fans and called us racist, sexist, and misogynist because we said your movie sucks. That's how you handled it, Lucasfilm. That's what happens when you have people like Kathleen Kennedy and Pablo Hidalgo running Lucasfilm, and Carrie Hart. That's what happens. These are the people that are in charge of Star Wars. These are the people that are killing Star Wars. These are the people that we are continuing to call out, and we're never going to be quiet, and we're never going to stop. And the people that you're pandering to are never going to support your business model, and the numbers prove it. So are you going to wake up, Disney? Because whether you like it or not, we have the high ground. We have the high ground because we are the customers. We are the people that support your business model. And if you don't make us happy, you don't make money. SJWs don't support your business model. Are you ready to wake up, Disney? Are you ready to listen? Are you ready to clean house from people like Kathleen Kennedy and her NPC army that she has brought into her social justice factory that used to be known as Star Wars and Lucasfilm? Are you ready to listen? Because that is what is going to ultimately save Star Wars. And the longer you leave this woman and all of the creative people she brought into Lucasfilm, within Lucasfilm, to have any type of power over Star Wars will continue to go downhill, and to the point where it will be completely irrelevant. Your call, Disney. You guys have a great day. We will talk to you later.